I'm Stacey Jackson. I'm a pop singer and I'm also an entrepreneur. I just designed a new line of fitness clothes. I'm also a mom of 4. I'm doing a big project with with a group called Music for Youth. I've been working with them for quite some time. I was doing an album with Music for Youth. It was a charity album to introduce some of the kids. They're the biggest platform for children all over the UK to get up and perform. I went to some of these concerts all over the country and I saw some amazing talented kids. I mean, just beyond amazing. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to sort of bust them down to London and put them all into like a room and let's work on some of my songs together. And at that time I was doing an album actually of Motown tracks, which some of these kids never even heard of. And I wanted to sort of rejig the tracks, sort of, my own interpretation of some of the tunes. We raised over £20,000 for the album, which was going obviously towards Music for Youth. And then one song got remixed, and suddenly I'm sitting between Lady Gaga and the Scissor Sisters on the dance charts. And I'm 40 years old, and all of a sudden there's this door that just opened for me. Never thought that this would ever happen. So it became really life-changing. As a new working mom in an industry that is very tough to get into, full stop. And then, of course, an aging industry. It's really a very youthful industry, especially in the dance genre. I just didn't want to be one of those people that said, I had the chance and I wanted to see what would happen. And you know what would I have to lose at that point? And it turned out that one thing led to another. I ended up collaborating with Snoop Dogg. A wonderful opportunity, and I'm just really grateful to be here. And I think that my kids will look at this, because they'd seen this transition of their mother going through, being a PTA mom and all of a sudden what I'm doing now. And I think it's really, for them, I'm sending them such a positive message that any woman could do what they want to do if they put their heart and soul into something. Just because she's a mom doesn't mean she doesn't have, she can't have a career too, or whatever the message is. And I really feel that my kids are hopefully taking with them as they grow up, and they're seeing it real life. With any artist, you send your music out into the ether, and you can only lead a DJ to, only leave a horse to water. Art is very subjective. Everything is so positive and fabulous, but it's not, because to get from there to there was a challenge. I mean, you put the record out, and so the same time as Rihanna, and the same time as, all of a sudden, well, we had other bigger records to play on Radio 1, so we're not playing you. It happens, but you know what? I think as an older person in the industry, I'm a little more confident, I think. Maybe not because I'm older, maybe because I've lived life's experiences. Yeah, there's rejection, but there's rejection in everything that you do sometimes, and not always life goes the way you want it. So you have to just let it go off your back and keep crushing on if this is something that you really want to do. So that's how I feel. I look at my age as an advantage. Yeah, I do. I mean, isn't that ironic? Because here I'm telling you that I'm coming into an industry, or I had been in an industry that's all these youngsters. What is so good about, being a youngster is that they should have the ability to just utilize other people's experiences. Feel that they should ask questions. If somebody came to me and said, how do I break into the industry? What advice do you have for me? I'd sit back and chat to them for hours, because if somebody did that to me 20 years ago, I'd be like, taking notes. And I think like a place like this, or, so I think young people or anybody who just wants to break into this creative industry should have the ability to bounce ideas off of other people, whether they've been in it for a long time or even 2 new people together, just to be able to have other people to just have a place to, to bounce ideas off of. I think that's great. So I would be the first person to say I would help them, but hopefully there are other people in the industry who feel the same. But I can understand how a lot of people will feel lost when they're first getting into this industry and would feel they're gonna need, who do they go to, what do they do? When my father passed away, I mean, who do you go to find, like, it's the first connection to the unknown, really, I think. And for me, I do feel that, I would go to someone you know, like the Rev. I mean, because you feel that sort of connection to that, maybe that sort of spiritual thing that he might have. Because we were talking, he's like, he just had that calling. You know, he felt that this is what he needs to be doing to help people, and this is just, you know, he doesn't make money on this. This is because this is what he felt that he needed to do for him. And so I think everybody's different. I think that the church is there, and that people should know that the church is there. You know, that's important. People sometimes forget that it is there. You know, I'm a spiritual person, so you're talking, you know, I believe in God. That's my thing, and I that's part of who makes me, but it's not my only part. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch of different parts that make who I am, but in terms of everyone, well, I think that there should be something for someone that makes them feel good about themselves, whatever that might be. And if it's the church, if it's a doctor, if it's a friend, if it's the Rev, whoever it is, that there's somebody or something there for them.